Never pray in room 317. Especially not at 3:17 a.m. I didn't know that rule when I checked into the hotel. The place looked normal. Clean hallways, soft yellow lights, quiet enough to hear your own breathing. Nothing felt dangerous, and that should have been my first warning. When my alarm clock lit up at exactly 3:17 a.m., the silence broke. The door handle began to turn on its own, slowly, deliberately, as if whoever was outside wanted me to notice. My heart started pounding as I stepped back and looked through the peephole. A nun stood in the hallway, perfectly still, her head tilted at an unnatural angle. Her mouth was stitched shut, and yet I could hear her breathing, wet, heavy, like she was barely alive. Then she whispered my name, even though I had never told anyone what it was. The hallway lights flickered, and the room suddenly felt smaller, tighter, like the walls were leaning in. The lights went out for a moment, and when they came back on, she was inside my room. She wasn't walking. She was floating, her feet never touching the floor. The black stitches across her mouth began to tear open, and although her lips didn't move, her voice filled the room. She said, "If you pray, I stay." Inside her mouth, I saw shapes shifting in the darkness, broken human fingers twitching as if they were still alive. The walls began to close in and names appeared carved deep into them. Hundreds of names crossed out in panic. Only one name wasn't crossed out. Mine. I ran into the bathroom and locked the door, my hands shaking. On the mirror, written in dark red, were the words, "She hears prayers." I felt her breath against my ear and heard her whisper, "You asked God. Now you belong to me." The door handle shook violently as shadows slid underneath the door, and I screamed until my throat burned. When morning came, the police found room 317 empty. There was no body, no blood, only deep scratch marks carved into the walls. On the hotel notice board, a new rule had been added. Guests in room 317 are advised not to pray after 3:17 a.m. The hallway still exists, the lights still flicker, and sometimes, if you look closely, you can see her standing at the far end, waiting. So if you ever wake up at 3:17 a.m. and hear breathing outside your door, don't pray. She's already listening.